any of those? Do you know anything about those postcards?
Well, this is my grandma Burns' family. That's the Simpsons.
The Simpsons.
Uh,
And some of those, I mean, you can almost barely see the faces anymore. That one says, is that in Webb's Place, North Dakota?
Yeah, Webb's Place, North Dakota. This was my great grandpa and grandma, but I never knew them, of course.
Yeah. So, do you know what the 257 is?
What? No.
Okay.
That was the old convertible. Now, where were these pictures?
So this one has a mark that it says Grandma Simpson, Uncle Earl is holding up, and Elsie's in the front of her. Gladys is the little girl on the other end.
That was Dad's two sisters.
Okay.
Alice, can I wipe your face?
That's them.
That's
so
Grandpa Simpson there.
Right, and so if that's them with their grandchildren, where's your dad? Is he in there? Can you tell?
How's your weird red sandwich?
So is that so when it says dad in the middle, do you know, is that Grandpa's handwriting? Or who?
No, that wasn't my dad's writing.
So I wonder who they're referring to as dad in the middle.
Lloyd was Dad's older brother.
Okay.
Moved to North Dakota.
And it says 8:20 party at is that J something Burns?
Could be.
Is that what it says?
But that was a house that somebody lived in.
I want to say one of these was talking about like a farm.
Where did you get these pictures?
These were all in your album.
Mr. J.W. Burns and what's his uncle?
His
mule.
His mule colts.
That was my grandpa, J.W.
J.W. is your grandpa?
Mm-hmm. My dad's father.
And what year was he born, do you think?
My grandpa?
Yeah.
Well, he died in 1937, and I think he was probably 55, maybe. He wasn't very old when he died.
So then that would say party. So then that one says party at J.W. Burns.
This is Grandpa Burns and his mule colt.
The Freemans and Olive.
Olive was my cousin. She was Uncle John's daughter. And John was older than my dad. And Dale and Kenneth were Freemans. And they were relatives of the Simpsons somehow. I don't remember now. Looks like Indian hoedown.
It says, dear brother, We would like to see you again. Want you to come this fall. Something Lodge, Liberty at Erie, PA.
Early Iowa, I suppose.
So this was to Mr.
Grumman or something. I don't sound.
Early, Sac County, Iowa. Postmarked 1913.
Clara was my grandma, and she died in 1940s. 62. That don't sound right.
Huh?
It doesn't sound right.
That was your
I
Clara?
thought she died in 49. Anyway.
And then this one, so this is the negative to this photo, I believe. So when you read this, it says, redo, we must see baby on the right. So I'm wondering, so who is the baby on the right? Oh, that says baby James. Is that you? Is that you?
That's my mother.
So that must be you that she's holding?
Probably.
So you were so important they made the photographer reprint the photo.
Let me see this. Bouncing baby boy.
Right at the end.
That's you?
Yeah. That's before I started eating.
Okay, look up at me and drool a little bit. Yeah, I see it.
That goes in there. Okay.
Definitely see your face and your mother here.
This picture up on top is mother, and the one over here is Dorothy and Donna and I.
And you're the squinty one in the middle on the left?
Yeah.
Ha.
Short pants. Squinty. And that's me there in a wagon.
Oh.
And this is Dorothy and Donna and I.
So obviously then you're the handsome brute with the blonde hair.
Yeah. And I think this is me with the lawnmower. That's why Mike gets to liking lawnmower.
Well, you know, you Burns men always like to do hard work.
Picture here, and this one down here is a family picture. Mom must be holding Carlton. That's when Spenders were in style.
Ha.
Well, it depends on how you wear them, I guess.
Here we go.
Haha. Now, if you don't know who that young dapper man is,
On
we're
that
gonna have
top
an
picture, I'm
issue.
the one in the end with a sweater on.
Oh.
That's you, right?
Yeah. So is the other one. So is that one. So is this one.
So this is kind of an egotistical page.
This was at my. This was
Planet Grandpa over here.
This was up at my Uncle Carl's. We had gone fishing.
Yeah, you had quite. What were those? Do you know what those were? Was it catfish or carp or what?
Northern.
Oh.
And he always used to go out in a small rowboat, and we fished with cane poles. And
You got big ones.
Yeah, and up on top there, I had a calf for the fair for 4-H.
It's too bad I never got to fish before they learned all your tricks.
Yeah. This is. I think that's up at Paynesville. One summer we went up there for church camp.
This is?
Yeah. That's my graduation gown. You thought I was a minister, but I wasn't. That's my graduation picture.
I thought you were a doctor of love.
Look at the hair I had. Man.
You look slick.
Oh, that was.
Class of 46.
This is our wedding picture. I was 126 pounds. Grandma and I weighed the same thing. I knew I had the world when I had her. That's the bigger thing of it.
Look at all the worlds that came out of it.
Yeah. Okay, this is where our church and sergeant. There's your grandma there. And this is, everybody always wore suits and neckties, and that was my Uncle Elmo.
You can tell she's like, are we done taking this picture?
There she is again. I'm right behind her. I don't let her get very far away. So.
Who's this, Sandy?
Yeah. That's my dad and mom. And that's Dorothy and me and Don and Marlon and Erling. Carlton wasn't around yet. That's Sandy there again.
This is you in the hospital and Sandy?
No, she was I was laying in bed.
Oh, okay.
Here's Sandy's picture with
Yeah.
me with a cap on.
How old were you in this? You look...
Probably 22. Yeah. I was 21 when we got married in April, and she was, well, we got married in July, and she was a little early. There we are again with Sandy with her blonde hair. There she is again.
So who are those little, do you know who those other two are in that Rugrat picture with three of
This
them?
one?
Yeah. I'm guessing the one on the end is Sandy, so who are the older two?
I think that's Diane and Dwayne.
Okay.
And there's Sandy with somebody, I don't know who it is. But there she was. We put paneling in one of our bedrooms when we remodeled that house, that first one, and she was standing.
Oh, she was standing.
And there's your dad and Sandy. And there's, I don't know who that was. There's Sandy. That might be Randy, I'm not sure. When I worked in the bank in Sturgeville, he came up to the bank one day and walked downtown. We lived maybe 6 blocks from where I worked. He went to the bank and came in my office, and I gave him $1 to go down to get a haircut, which was twice as far as your house probably. And pretty soon he came back and sat in one of the chairs with his head down. And I said, "What's the matter? You didn't get a haircut?" He said, "Lost my $1." How he could have lost his $1 in 15 minutes.
Is there a candy shop nearby?
No, that's him on the pot.
That's Dad potty training?
He looks happy about it.
That is funny. That's a good ambush.
These are all
comment.
Sandy's. Oh, did Mom have these together?
I don't know who, I don't.
There he is, skinhead. He looks like Mike a little bit there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's Grandma and I and Sandy and Randy. That, there he is again. I think that was at Grandma Anderson's.
It says
And
January
there's
56.
Diane and Dwayne and Sandy and Randy and I don't know who those 2 little ones were. This is your dad down there with his mouth open.
So now we know where Andrew's baby picture came from.
Yeah.
there's Lori.
That's when we lived in Storesville.
Is that Sandy trying to dress her up in a suit?
Must have.
So who's that girl?
With Lori.
That's Lori too? So it's just out of order.
When we lived in Storesville, we sold our house, the old house that we lived in, and then we went about 4 blocks west of where we built, and the lot was 80 by 225.
Oh my goodness.
And we had a 1-story house with a full basement, and we lost the basement one night when they were building it. We got a flood.
Oh no.
Had to redo it, and by the time we got the house built plus the lot, we had $12,500 of it.
Good Lord.
We sold it 2 years later for $22,000.
That's a nice little investment.
Yeah.
Was this a gun show?
No.
Oh, rips, Grandpa.
That's where we lived.
Good Lord.
That's where your dad was his pony.
I'm guessing you were the family arm wrestling champion when that picture was
He had
taken.
this. Sandy and him each got I bought them Welsh ponies, each one of them. And Randy always said, "Dad, I can't ride that because it bucks." I said, "No, it doesn't buck." "Yes, it does." I said, "Well, I'll ride Sandy's and you ride behind me." And we were going out in a plowed field, and I was going along. All of a sudden, I heard, "Ho, ho!" and he flew off the horse. And oh, God, here he is again. But we had a different horse after that, and it had this little colt. And see, Sandy's petting it.
So did he ever get back up on that colt again after?
Yeah,
Okay.
but not very often.
You made sure he was gonna get back up on it.
Yeah.
It's the last thing he did.
Grandpa was mean. Oh, there's one.
Yep, there's your house.
That's the new house that we
Yep.
built. That was a nice house. That's your mother or grandma over there.
Yeah.
She was my peach. This is a nice picture of Dad and Mom.
Mhm.
This is Marlon's kid, Butch and Vicky.
Butch?
Well, his name is Marlon Jr.
Oh, okay.
This is my Aunt Elsie
Okay.
that lived in Faribault.
Okay.
And she was married to Dewey Paper was his name. He worked in a meat packing plant.
Is she the same Elsie that was, do you think she was the same Elsie that was mentioned in the earlier pictures? Okay.
Are we related to one of the Allman brothers?
No, that's my sister Donna and her husband and her son and their daughter and that husband, and he lived for 4 or 5 years and he died of cancer.
Oh no.
And she remarried again, and they had one son with the second one. And this is our family up on top there.
So it'd be interesting to compare that picture to the one that you were looking at last night that had the sibs in
Drew
it.
and Dorothy. And she's in a nursing home. I told you she fell and broke her hip.
Yeah, you said
About
that last
6
night.
weeks ago, maybe.
Aw.
This is Marlon and Val's family, and that center picture is Vicky. She lives in Irving, Texas, and years ago when she was first out of school, she went and she was an airline pilot, or a stewardess. Beautiful lady.
Oh, yeah, there was a picture of her last night. I
Yeah.
remember you telling me.
And these are the 2 boys. And there's on Grandma and Grandpa's 50th wedding anniversary. This was my grandpa's brother, Elmer Height. And that's his second wife. His first wife died when she was probably 45, 50 maybe. And these are pictures of the reception of the 50th wedding anniversary, and there was a guy that was walking from town to town with baggage on his shoulders, and he walked in the church basement. It was in the wintertime. He walked in the church basement and said, "What's going on here?" And my dad said, "Well, there's an anniversary. You come and eat with us," Dad said. You know, he was always, and it was their way of serving people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it sounds like he was a practicing Christian.
Oh yeah. And we went to church wintertime in a sled, and they had a barn out back, or a shed.
On the horse-drawn sled.
Yeah, and there was 6 or 8 teams of horses that were there from different families, and they would put a binder canvas over the top of it and put straw on the bottom of the box, and some people even had these flat irons. They'd heat them up real good and hot, and then lay them in there, and you keep your hands warm.
Oh.
But we lived 4 miles from the church, but we never missed Sundays. We always was there, and that was more pictures. This was Donna's and Mom serving at
An Eastern Star at a
wedding anniversary, I think it was.
Grandma was always so tan.
That was my father-in-law's brother, Lester. He was the youngest in the family. They just had one daughter. This was the farmhouse.
Yeah. So did you built that, right?
No, it was there. We bought it. We added on twice. But
so was it just the little main area, and then you added on the extension, and obviously basement?
It was an old house. We added this on, and then a den, and then added a basement under it. Put a couple fireplaces in there, and this was the barn and the silo. That was the milk house at one time. And we put this fence around the whole thing for the horses. And but we paid $20,000 when we bought it, 1964, and we probably spent 75 on it. But that was the first boat that we had. We bought it for $600 down in Austin. And when we got it, first time we went out to the lake, we went to Circle Lake by Faribault, and it was Jimmy and Lori and Mom and I, and it was late in the afternoon, and we went out, and she wanted to water ski, so we got her behind there, water skied, and all of a sudden the boat stopped, and here we had sheared a shear pin on the motor.
Oh no!
And I didn't have any, and didn't know how to fix it. We stood there, and every boat would go by, we'd wave, and they'd wave at us and keep going.
And you meant no, come over.
Your grandma and Jimmy were on shore, and she was about ready to go crazy. And finally, somebody stopped and pulled us in, and
obviously, that was before the flag days. We've got to keep
it
on.
was on ice fishing someplace, and that was our trailer house. We pulled out to Florida 3 times.
And then is that French Lake?
Huh?
And then that's French Lake, right?
That was at French Lake. And we would have stayed there, except the lot was too small. She said every time somebody walks in, or walks by, I think they're looking in the window.
Mm-hmm.
And there's Slick with a black hat on. Oh, God, why couldn't she have lived longer?
She had made reservations somewhere else. Can't be late
somebody
for
wanted her.
Can't be late for that host.
I think those were down in Florida. Yeah. We had some friends that lived in Dundas and came to Florida and met us down there one time for a week, and they had a big swimming pool by the motel, and this guy was probably 6'2" or 3 or 4, husky, and we were going to go out for dinner that night. And he had laid by the swimming pool all afternoon, and she came out the door just before we were to leave, and she said, "We can't go." And I said, "Why?" She said, "Jim can't even get off the bed. He's so goddamn red from the sunburn. He was just red."
Oversized
Oh,
lobster.
shit.
Where were you in Florida?
Orlando.
Orlando? Was this to see Disney, or?
Oh, yeah. Close by. There's Grandma's snowmobile shoot.
What did you catch her doing here that she's laughing so much?
I don't know. I was at her counter in
I bet you said something sassy.
I suppose. This is my nephew and his wife. Joyce's son. They live in Northville. He works at Carlton. They have no children. They both gained a lot of weight since then.
It happens to the best of them.
Yeah. There's my cousins that live in Grand Rapids, Minnesota. I hadn't seen them for years until we went down to a reunion one time down in Missouri, and I met him, and at the time I was selling used cars, and he wanted a 3/4 ton truck. He was an electrician. 3/4 ton truck with a boom on it. I had just bought two from the auction sales, and he stopped and looked at them, and he bought one. I sold a lot of used cars.
I bet you did. You're what's known as a people person.
First year I worked there, I sold 156.
Jeez, that's one every other day.
I made $40,000 that year, and that was the most I'd ever made in my life.
Lots of commission. How did you get into that? You just decided to try it?
The guy that I went to work for, him and his brother owed me money. And so they called one day and said, "Come on in, and let's see if we can't work this out." Because literally I owned their business.
Yeah.
Those are not for babies.
And they had pledged their